John Locke is a British philosopher and physician who laid the groundwork for an empiricist approach to philosophical questions. Locke's revolutionary theory that the mind is a tabula rasa, a blank slate on which experience writes, is detailed in his essay concerning human understanding in the 1690. He seeks to develop knowledge based on clear thinking, rigorous analysis, and real-world observation and experimentation. Unlike Descartes, Locke brought a very different approach to this epistemological enterprise. Locke works as a physician rather than a mathematician, provided him a very different perspective. The physician's challenge is to gather information regarding the symptoms a patient is experiencing, then relate these symptoms to his or her accumulated knowledge of disease. Although a successful doctor uses sophisticated reasoning abilities in identifying patterns and making inferences, his or her conclusions are grounded in experience. Knowledge, in other words, is based on careful observation of sense experience and/or memories of previous experiences. Reasons plays a subsequent role in helping to figure out the significance of our sense experience and to reach intelligent conclusion. In short, according to Locke, all knowledge originates in our direct sense experience, which acts as the final court of judgment in evaluating the accuracy and value of ideas.
True to his philosophical commitment to ground his ideas in sense experience, Locke, in his essay entitled On Personal Identity, from his most famous work, An Essay Concerning Human Understanding, engages in reflective analysis on how we experience ourselves in our daily lives. To find wherein personal identity consists, we must consider what persons stand for, which I think is a thinking of intelligent being that has reason and reflection and consider itself as itself. The same thinking thing in different times and places, which does only by that consciousness which is inseparable from thinking, and it seems to me essential to it. It being impossible for anyone to perceive without perceiving. That does he perceive. When we see, hear, smell, taste, meditate, or anything, we know what we do so. Thus it is always under present sensation and perception. And by this everyone is to himself which he calls self. If not being considered in this case, whether the same self to be continued in the same or diverse substance, for since consciousness always accompanies thinking, and it is what which makes everyone to be what he calls self, thereby distinguish himself from all other thinking things. In this alone consists personal identity, the sameness of a rational being, and as far as this consciousness be extended backwards to any past action or thing, so far reaches the identity of that person. It is the same self now it is then. And it is by the same self which this present one that now reflects on it. And that the action was done.
In this initial passage, Locke makes the following point implicitly, asking the question of his reader. Aren't this conclusion confirmed by examining your own experiences? 1. To discover the nature of personal identity, we're going to have to find out what it means to be a person. Number 2. A person is a thinking, intelligent being who has the abilities to reason and to reflect. Number 3. A person is also someone who considers itself to be a same thing in a different time and a different places. Number 4. Consciousness, being aware that we are thinking, always accompanies thinking and is an essential part of a thinking process. And last but not the least, consciousness is what makes possible our belief that we are the same identity in a different time and a different places.